Hey guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a very, very exciting vlog. You have no idea. I'm so excited to do this. I have been putting it off for 3 months. I'm ambitious. I have a week to read these and we'll see if it happens, but I had to sit down and watch like 40 YouTube videos. I charted it, I color coded it, and I found YouTube's favorite romances of 2022. Now that does not mean they came out in 2022. These are the ones that consistently showed up in people's favorites lists. I have seen a bunch of creators do this. I'm changing it from how I did last year. Last year I just chose like a random person's favorite books that I was on my TBR and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read that. This time I only chose books that showed up multiple times and tallied it. I literally wrote down notes, and then later videos I was like, oh my gosh, now this is like the 4th time I've seen this book. Who else was talking about it? Because I was like, oh, I don't think that would make the list. And it did. So I ended up having like 10 books on here that I could have chosen from and narrow down to the top 5. You guys love long books. I am very nervous about this TBR because 3 of the 5 are very long, and I'm just gonna read them because they are all books I'm also really excited for. So I will put the photo of every creator I talk about here, and definitely check all of them out. Everybody's gonna be linked down below that I mentioned in this video by book. So it's like a book you love and you want to check out the creator, go for it, do it. I love all these creators, and you might be thinking like, you're missing so-and-so. They, from what I saw, did not have these books in their top of the year. So some of my best friends are not on this list because they didn't have any new, like a lot of my friends and I read the same books. So a lot of books also that were in the top are ones I've read, like The Words by Ashley Jade. So many people love that book. I read it last year. That was one of my top books. Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. One of my absolute favorite books. Absolutely a favorite of last year. So many people had that in their top. Same with Praise by Sarah Kate. So I've read a lot of favorite books of the booktube in general. So I almost had to read Manacled, which is like 1,000 pages and I would have died. But I was actually really excited that I was going to read Manacled. Hopefully that's a goal for this year, but not for this video. So I have 5 books. I actually started one today that I'm really enjoying. So number 1, most common book that I saw is Haunting Adeline. So these creators all loved Haunting Adeline. There are 6 of them that had Haunting Adeline in their top, and that means you know they love dark romance. This book I've heard so much about and how crazy it is. Haunting Adeline is a stalker romance. It is book 1 and a duet. I'm only reading book 1 for this video, but people love it. I'm ready for some dark romance. This video doesn't have any other dark romances, so I hope I love this. We're gonna see. I am interested in the audio. I only have 1 audiobook for this vlog, and I have the potential of reading more audios. We'll see, because I do love audiobooks. The problem is it's long. This one's chunky. I don't know why these authors are writing such long books. This is over 550 pages, but I've only read one other H.G. Carlton book, which was Does It Hurt? And that was an experience. So we'll see if I like this. Oh, and Teddy Hamilton narrates this. That's why I'm intrigued. Like, a stalker, Teddy Hamilton? Maybe. The next highest is one I've seen everywhere. And, oh, so there's actually 2 that are tied for the next highest. But this one, I am not surprised. And this one, some of my friends have been reading this year and absolutely love it. So that is going to be Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This one I also have on audio through my library. However, I'm pretty sure they're Irish. And I don't love audiobooks with accents because I listen to them very fast, and that makes me have to slow them down, and that makes me feel like I'm being slow reading. So this one was recommended by these lovely creators. I am very excited to see this book, and I feel like this book was the most passionately talked about by these creators. Like, these creators were so wholly consumed by this book and do not stop thinking about it and are obsessed with it. Like, this was like the #1 book of theirs of the year. So very excited of these people. And I will say, I think there's actually a couple that 2 of their favorites ended up on this list. So this one I know, Lachlan, she loves this book, and the next book as well is one of her favorites. So I'm reading the multiple favorites from some of my favorite creators. So this one, I don't know anything about it. I know it revolves around rugby, and I know that they're in high school. It's also part of a series. So my friend Tori from Novel Life recently read it this year, and she was obsessed. So, and I was a little, first of all, oh my god, the font is so small in this book. This is gonna take me a long time. It is also almost 600 pages. So we'll see how long it takes me to get through this. I have a week, like I said, to do this video, so that's fun. And this one though, I just have high hopes for. Tori, I was nervous because I told her, I was like, they're in high school? She's like, yes, but it's so good. And I'm like, okay, like whatever you say. So I'm already in the mindset that I know the age range of that book. So the next one is one that also 5 people liked, and I can read it because I read and loved book 1, and I actually started this one and I got like 150 pages into it and stopped because I was bored, but I had every intention of going back to it. So that is Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. Just Daisy Hates. Is this just Daisy Hates? Okay, so this is just Daisy Hates. I didn't know if it had like a subtitle like the book 4 does, but this is book 2 in the Magnolia Park series. I read Magnolia Park and absolutely loved it, like 5 stars. I think that was on my favorites of the year last year. This one I kind of cheated because some people said like the whole series was their favorite, and I counted this one towards that because it was part of their favorites. These are all the creators that love Daisy Hates, so you know they love some angst and some mess and some very character driven romances. So I would recommend checking these people out if you like what I like, because I love mess and angst so much. So Daisy Hates is book 2 to Magnolia Parks, and this is Daisy's story, and it's Daisy and someone. I don't even remember if Julian is the love interest or if Julian's her brother. I just remember in here, the writing style is interesting because there's footnotes, which kind of threw me off, and it's a lot slower than Magnolia, I will say. Also, the guy that she likes was in love with Magnolia in book 1. So that took me a little bit to get used to and be okay with, but I'm excited. I'm gonna restart it. Like, I already moved my bookmark back to the beginning. I need to read this to get to book 3, so this is gonna be forcing me to get me through this. I am starting this first. Like, this is the first book I'm picking up physically for this vlog. So the next one coming in at 4 people, and these are some of my my booktube best friends favorite books, so it's been on my TBR for a while and I've been meaning to read it, and that is going to be Between Hello and Goodbye by Emma Scott. This one is one I actually downloaded the audio for, because on Kindle Unlimited, if you have it out or you already own the ebook, the audio is only $7.50, and I knew I had to get an audiobook, at least one, for this vlog, so I downloaded it. This one is these 4 people's favorites. I love all 4 of them. I think that Sam had both Daisy and this one, so 2 of Sam's favorites are on this video, and I know some of my really close friends love this, so I really hope I love this. This one, I believe, is about a girl who is just like not performing enough at her job, and they really care about her, so they're like, you need to take a break. So she goes to Hawaii, and I think she like hurts herself and falls for a firefighter. I have the highest hopes for this one. I think I'm gonna absolutely love this one. I love Emma Scott. Her books are very emotional. I think I'm gonna love this one. And then the last one's the one that I don't own, but I could choose between 4 different books for this one because it is 3 people's favorites. And I had 4 different books written down, including Manacled, which, looking at this TBR, then I was like, I cannot put a 1,000-page book on this list. But that is going to be Next to You by Hannah Bonham Young. So this one is recommended by these 3 creators who I really, really love. Definitely check them out, and especially was swayed by Caitlin from The Love Librarian, because she's obsessed with Hannah Bonham Young, and I'm happy it was this book because this one I'm more excited for than book 1. Book 1, they have to, I think, like renovate a house together or something, or move in together. This one, though, they are renovating a bus together, and this is the one I've already started. So check out these people. They're lovely. I'm so excited that I chose this one because this one I started on my run this morning. I read ebooks when I run, and this is one I don't own physically. That's why I picked it up on my iPad. It's so good, like so relatable, and I like, at the point in my life right now, I'm like, I don't know if I want to be reading someone whose like existential crisis is like literally the same as mine. She had a roommate and she moved out, and she's just like living alone, and she has her birthday party, but it starts out on New Year's Eve where she meets Matt. They have a New Year's Eve kiss, and then he friend zones her, and now it's been a year and a half. Her and Matt are so close. Matt is adorable. Like, this is just giving me such cozy, just I love it vibes. I love Matt. I love Matt so much. He's such a good guy, and they're best friends, but she is so in love with him, but she is okay with being friends as long as he's in her life. They watch movies together because Matt grew up like not really being exposed to a lot of things, so she's like gives him movies to watch, music to listen to, all this stuff, and they talk all the time. She buys a bus. On her 28th birthday, I think she was 28, she buys a bus and is like, I'm gonna renovate it, and Matt works construction type things. He's gonna help her, and that's all I got so far. I'm so excited to read that one. It's going so well so far. I'm like 15% in, and I just like have just a cozy, happy feeling reading. I'm like, I love these characters. They're so relatable. I love Matt. I love this friends to lovers dynamic going on. So I'm excited to continue. I'm loving it. So I have a good variety of super emotional, cozy, fun, and I'm very excited for this vlog. So I gotta go. because I've been sitting here too long and I have places to be today, but I will update you when I've read more. I think I'm gonna read Physically Daisy next, like today, and then read more of the Next to You tomorrow, and probably start my audio of Emma Scott tomorrow. I'm someone who reads a lot at one time, so I always have 3 books going in the 3 different formats depending on what I'm doing, so I'll update you when I've read more. Hi guys, so it is currently Tuesday. I have some updates for you. I'm still in between 3 books. I got 100 pages into Daisy Hates, and at first I was annoyed because the love interest, Christian, is the one that was in love with Daisy in book 1, and I find that incredibly frustrating that he is still like hung up over her. But we soon realized that Daisy is still also hung up on her ex, and Daisy and Christian are hooking up, but they still like kind of like their exes slash like people that they're still in love with, and they both are getting jealous of the other person. So I just got to a scene where Christian sees Romeo and Daisy together and he's getting really jealous. So I'm really liking it. It's so character driven though. When I started, it was so hard for me to figure out who was who because there were like 10 characters in one scene together, and I was like, excuse me, like who is this person? I have no idea. So it took a while for me to get into it, but I'm just over 100 pages in and I'm loving it so much. I love just Jessa Hastings storytelling with these characters because it's character driven, nothing's happening. I do love the fact though that Julian's an art thief too, super fan of that, but that's going really good so far. I have a feeling it might be 5 stars. I have like 2 hours left of the audio of Between Hello and Goodbye, and I don't know how I feel. It's very insta-love, and what's really frustrating with it for me is the only thing keeping them apart is themselves. They fall in love in Hawaii, but she lives in Seattle and he lives in Hawaii, and they are like refusing to address it, and when it finally comes to head, they like get upset, and I don't know, I'm just I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation if I was in it, but it's like, can we look at this realistically and figure out a solution instead of just ignoring the problem? Like, they keep on visiting each other, and I'm like, what is the outcome? Like, what do you expect is gonna happen? And I still have like 2 hours left, and something happened, and I'm like, something has to happen, and something just did, and I don't know how I feel about it driving the plot now, because I feel like now things are just being thrown in as conflict for the romance. So I'm not loving it the way I thought I would. I had very, very high expectations. This is some of my friends' all-time favorite book of the year last year, and I don't know how I feel because I was getting annoyed with him. I'm like, what does she think is gonna happen? And he made a comment that I was like, wow. So I mean, it's messy and realistic, but also I'm just like, you both don't live in the same place. If you want a relationship, something has to change. Like, it's so obvious. So I don't know. It's okay so far. I have 2 hours left, so we'll see how the rest goes. But I'm also 35% into Next to You, and this one's my favorite so far. Oh my gosh, friends to lovers trope is supreme. Like, I'm obsessed with their friendship. He's gonna go to her sister's wedding with her, and I'm so excited. She's helping plan, like, market for his company, and they're just together all the time. They haven't really done a lot of work on her bus, but they did take a road trip together, and there was an only one bed trope at a really creepy motel, but I love their dynamic so much, and I feel like I just really connect with the heroine in the state of the life that she's in, and I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm really, really loving it. It's just like very, very cozy. Just so cozy and so good. So I'm gonna continue reading that as well. I have to go work out right now, so I'm gonna continue reading Next to You on the treadmill, and then I'm probably gonna hopefully finish Between Hell and Goodbye tonight. I have some sewing I have to do for someone at school, so I might finish that. So while I'm making a couple book sleeves for a coworker. So yeah, I'm gonna go and work out and read more Next to You. Hey guys, I am here real quick to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Every Plate. I don't know about you, but I don't like cooking. I don't like the time it takes. I don't like the time it takes to find a recipe, go to the store, get like a million different ingredients, and then put it all together when you get home. I don't like it. And I'm someone who, I'm sure I suffer from that. I don't eat the best and I eat the same things over and over again. But every plate is literally perfect for me. I love the fact that you get meals delivered right to your home, similar to other meal services. However, every plate is actually cheaper than your normal meal service. Every plate is 25% cheaper than shopping at the grocery store, which cuts down on your grocery bill, and you don't even have to go to the grocery store. I always do pickup, and even that is too much for me. So I love that it's delivered right to my door. I don't have to figure out a grocery list and figure out everything that's in there. They have these really cool cards that have every single step direction for what you're cooking, which is helpful for me, someone who is horrible at cooking and doesn't do it that often. And also they tell you every single ingredient that's involved that you have in the box that shows up right on your doorstep. I am also guilty of eating out more than I should, and every plate is a cheaper alternative that is just as quick and easy to use because it is cheaper than eating out all the time. I can put that money towards fun things instead of wasting it on eating all the time. So they are quick and delicious meals, and they have such a good variety. And when I tell you how excited I was when the box showed up and I got to see the meals that they surprised me with, I was very excited. I love pasta. I just made a pasta dish last night and I can show you me making that. And I am really excited because tonight we're actually making another one. It is perfect for me and my sister. There's only 2 of us and it's kind of hard to meal prep such a small meal without having a ton of leftovers. And every plate is perfect because it is exactly 2 servings, which is what I need. And there was literally just like the perfect amount of food last night when we made it together, and I'm excited for tonight's meal because it looks delicious. They have such a fun variety of food too. On their website there's at least 25 options a week, and as someone who's really picky, that makes me so happy because I will definitely find something that I like to eat if I have so many options. My sister and I have tried a lot of different meal services, and sometimes like we've had to skip a lot of weeks because there was nothing that sounded good to me. Like I said, I'm a picky eater, but every plate has so many options and they sound so delicious. And so I also hate cooking meat, and I feel like I never get enough protein in my diet because I hate figuring out how to buy it at the store and making it at home, and every plate made it so easy. Get started with every plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering piece149. That means you're only paying $1.49 for a meal from every plate. And like I said, it's so yummy. Like, I'm so excited for my meal tonight because it is these like meatloaf sandwiches with potato wedges, and they look delicious. I'm very excited. My sister and I are gonna make it together tonight because she does work tonight, so getting her a hearty meal before she goes to work is important, and that's gonna start off my weekend, and I'm very excited. And even though every plate is easier to get delivered to your door, it's easier than grocery shopping, you are not substituting quality for ease. Their meals are still really great quality and have such good ingredients. I basically have 2 full-time jobs, teaching and then doing content creation, and so I love that every plate makes it so easy for me to know my meals and not have to sit down on Saturday night, figure out what I want to make, just say, what do you want this week to my sister? And she says, I don't know, what do you want? I don't know. And then we make the same exact recipes every week. It's so nice to have a variety with not as much thought into it. I'm so excited they wanted to sponsor this video, so definitely check them out. Like I said, use my code PIECE149 to get started with every plate for just $1.49 per meal. So make sure you use PIECE149. That's my code. It's right here. I'm like excited to cook dinner now because they make it fun and easy and delicious. Hello everybody, I am in my kitchen. I was just eating some jelly beans and the dogs want to eat even though it's way too early. I didn't work out today, so their schedule's kind of thrown off. They don't know what to do when I don't work out because it's really timed well that I come home, work out, and like get changed, and then it's 5 o'clock and time to feed them, but it's only 4:30. I did just film a video and I finished Between Hello and Goodbye, and Miss Lily's just gonna whine in the background, and I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I'll probably round up to 4. I don't know if it's just because I listened to the audio, though they're my favorite audiobook narrators, Teddy Hamilton and Desiree Ketchum. They are phenomenal. Like, tonight on my channel I get to interview Desiree, so like I'm very excited to chat with her. I love her audiobooks, but I don't know. They fell for each other really fast. It really felt like very insta-love, and then they were the only ones holding themselves from being together, and then some like tragedy was thrown in. I was like, okay, something's gotta happen. Like, something bad has got to happen, because like we're already on our way to an HEA and we still have like 2 hours left of this audiobook. So I don't know if I love the pacing. I did appreciate like the journey the heroine went on and like finding herself in Hawaii and reevaluating what she wants, but I was like, I don't know, I'm just like, I get people are messy and frustrating, and that's how I felt about this book, but it wasn't in a way that I love. So I feel bad. I haven't even looked at reviews for this book yet. Oh, and I forgot to say, this is actually a spinoff of Someday Someday, which I love so much. So she was really close friends with Silas from Someday Someday, and that was a really fun surprise. But so many of my friends have given it 5 stars. Okay, so someone did agree that it was just slow, but I don't know if I would even call it slow. But like everyone's giving it 5 stars. Cheyenne, Sam, Crystal, Tori, Christy, everybody's giving it 5 stars. I was just like underwhelmed. Maybe it's because I hyped this book too much up in my head. But like that's what I'm doing for all these books. They're all hyped because they're all 5-star reads from so many people on BookTube. But I don't know. I did like the setting and like them falling for each other, and it was definitely very emotional. Maybe it was just like not a book I was in the mood for, because that does end up ruining a book sometimes for me when I'm like, this is really good, but if I like read it at a different time, I would have loved it. So 3.5 rounding up to 4 for Between Hello and Goodbye, and like comparing it to all the other Emma Scott books I loved, this one is probably my least favorite by her. I've read so many amazing books by her, Full Tilt, the Bring Down the Stars duet, Someday Someday, and this one was like good, but those were better. So this one's getting 3.5. And then I'm still loving Next to You, but I started Haunting Adeline. I bought the audio, and Teddy Hamilton, I'm so excited to interview him in a couple weeks, because how does he do it? And I don't know if I would be so engrossed in this if I were reading it. I think I still would be, like with my eyeballs, but why am I so into this book? Why am I so attracted to this man who will literally cut off the hands of any person who touches the woman he's obsessed with? And I'm not meaning obsessed with like he's in love with her. He is absolutely obsessed with her, that he stalks her. And she's like, and so like I've read stalker romances before where they're just like, oh, I have a stalker, and then they like totally give into their stalker, and I'm like, aren't you terrified? The heroine's terrified, but she's so intrigued too. So I think it's a good balance of being terrified and intrigued. Like she still tells the police, and she's still nervous, but she's also reading like a relative's diary who had a stalker too, that would like come in her room at night and do things. And listen, I love a psychopath killer who kills for good. And that is our hero. And I'm okay being attracted to that. He is a mercenary hacker and tracks down horrible people like human traffickers and just murders them. And brutally murders them. There was a scene that I was just like literally like, this book has me so engrossed too. Like my drive home today went by so fast. I have a 35-minute drive to and from work. I was home already, and I was like, how am I home already? Has it been 35 minutes? He like stabbing the screwdriver in this guy's stomach, chopping off his hands just because he touched her. And he warned her. He was like, if anybody touches you, I'm literally cutting off their hands and mailing them to you. And he delivered on his promise. And I was just like, yes, show your love for that woman. I think it's because he's not, like, he doesn't seem dangerous because he's doing it to bad people. He would never hurt our heroine, Adeline. Like, I really like it. I feel so weird really liking it, but this is the kind of dark romance that I love. So I'm really liking it. I don't know if anything's gonna happen. I don't know. Because he's not showing any danger or, yeah, he's stalking her and like sending her messages, but he's not showing any like violent tendencies towards the heroine. Towards other people, yes, but not towards the heroine. And I'm so into it. I'm so into it. But yeah, so that's the update I have for you. I had my interview tonight. I got to chat with Zachary Weber yesterday, which was so much fun. He is so chaotic, and it was a fun, chaotic interview. Desiree's gonna be super fun though tonight with Tori, and I need to edit my video I just filmed, and yeah, tomorrow's Thursday, so it's almost spring break, which I'm very, very excited for, and I'm just gonna keep reading. I do want to get back into Daisy Hates though. I don't know, like I'm loving some of the books I'm reading for this though. Like while Between Hello and Goodbye was okay, the 3 that I'm currently in the middle of are so, so good. So I want to get back into Daisy Hates, but I also just want to power through and finish next to you. So like in a good way, like I want to sit down and just enjoy the rest of this book. So even though Lane, the heroine in next to you, is being a little annoying because she has a lot of baggage and does not want to commit herself to people, but I'm gonna continue reading. I'm just having such a good reading time and I'm so happy. Hi guys, so I wanted to chat with you real quick. My camera is set up on my bed, hopefully it doesn't fall over. Darcy's about to get on my bed. So I just got off with sprints with my members and I have some reading updates for you. So I have 40 pages left in this and I'm loving it more than Magnolia. As soon as we hit page 200, the plot picked up and the angst really kicked in and I'm obsessed. This is like a mafia romance and I'm obsessed. I love the messy romance, and now this has cheating. This has Daisy sleeps with a handful of people. So if you don't like when either the character sleeps with other people while they're not with the other character, or when they're like on a break, or when they're mad at them, like you will not like this. This is messy. Do you need help? So back to this, if my camera doesn't fall because Darcy's not walking around my bed. I'm loving this. So I'm excited to finish. I'm gonna finish it tonight. I also have an hour and a half left of the audio of Haunting Adeline. So Darcy, I'm trying to like have a stable camera for once by setting it up, and Darcy will not stop making a little nest for herself. You okay, boo? You gonna lay down? I am reading Haunting Adeline and I was talking about it on my live show. It is not as dark as I was expecting. So it's dark, but like I've read darker things and I was expecting like so dark and disturbed and twisted, because all these reviews say that, and I have to keep in mind now I think over 100,000 people have read this book. So we are getting the non-dark romance readers, so it seems dark to them. Sure, there's some dark stuff. I mean, stuff he does with a gun. There's a lot of dub-con and non-con, but she clearly likes what he's doing. So that's not really dark to me, and that means, I really like him as a hero because he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. He literally dedicates his life to taking down bad guys, taking down like sick, twisted bad guys, and that makes it not dark to me. Like, sure, he murders people, but like we have that in a lot of different books. I thought he was gonna be like a psychopathic stalker, and he's not really in my eyes, and I feel like not a lot of dark things have happened. I have been told the dark stuff happens at the end of this book and into book 2, so there is that. So I'm like not underwhelmed, I would say, but I'm at the point now in the book, it's a 15-hour audiobook and I'm 13 and a half hours in, and I'm just like, it's good. And really, like, that's it. So I'm continuing reading it. It's not an all-time favorite, but it's not bad. I mean, I really like it. I like how she is falling so hard for her stalker. And I'm really interested in the other storyline with her grandmother's diary entries. Like, I think the plot is not slow. Like, I love the carnival scene too, and the haunted house and the mirror stuff. Like, oh, so good. So it's good. It's definitely at least a 4-star read. We'll see if it's 4.5. And then I'll start my Chloe Walsh book. So yeah. Gonna get through this vlog. I'm very excited. Tomorrow my plan is just to read, and I have a live show at 9. So tomorrow's just reading day. I'm gonna finish this tonight and then continue my book club book for tomorrow, and then get to Binding 13, which I'm very, very excited for. I'm nervous for, and I was just FaceTiming Tori and she said I'll either love it and fly through it or hate it and take forever to read it. So let's hope that I love it and fly through it. Hi guys, so I have 2 book updates for you. It is the next night. I've been reading my book club book tonight. I finally finished it, so yay for that, but that means I have 2 books to read between tonight and tomorrow. We'll see if that happens, but I was having issues with my mic too. I bought a new mic. I bought a Rode mic, which apparently is like the best mic ever. And I don't know if my settings are wrong on my camera, but like I turned it to the setting everyone said and you can barely hear my voice. So then I turned it up and then it was too loud. So I had to keep on playing around with it. I feel like this new mic or not. I don't know. It's just like hard to figure out and it's just gonna be taking a lot of like playing around with it. But I have my puppies here. I had to refilm a video 3 times trying to figure that out. And I should have just like sat down and played with it, but I didn't have time to do that because of all the reading I have to do. So hopefully this upcoming week I can play around with all that in the settings. But I finished Daisy Hates. 5 stars. The ending broke my heart. Like, the characters in this book go through so many horrible things at their own expense, but also the expense of others. So I loved it so much, and it makes me so annoyed with Magnolia. Magnolia needs to go away. I was tired of her making every man fall in love with her in book 1. I still want her to be with BJ. And like the repercussions of that are just so hard to read. It makes me just so sad. So it was amazing though. And I love the fact that it was really mafia. Like, I got so many mafia vibes from it. Julian. Oh, so many heartbreaking things happen at the end. So 5 stars. I loved it. So good. So happy I picked it up and reread the beginning and read it. Now I just want to read books 3 and 4, but I have other things to read. I did finish Haunting Adeline. I think we need that 4 stars. So the ending, definitely I can see where things are gonna turn bad. I'm nervous on what's gonna happen with these characters because now they're in really bad situations themselves, because I feel like nothing bad really happened to our main characters. Like the hero was playing around with her a little bit, but like she really likes primal play, so that's what was happening. And it was fun, and I liked how much he loved her, and he was just literally like, we're together forever. Like, that's just it. I love a hero who goes after what he wants when the heroine wants it, and she does. The murder mystery was really interesting too. I just like wanted it to be a little darker. I don't know. I feel like there should have been a little bit more morally gray to the hero than there was for what I've heard about this book. But 4 stars. Was definitely enjoyable. Really loved the audio. It didn't go by too slow either. It was a long audio, but it was very nicely paced. And I'm nervous for the ending. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. Like, what the heck? So definitely interested in continuing on. Now I'm gonna start my last book, which is Binding 13, and hopefully finish it by tomorrow. We'll see. It's a very long book, but we'll see how it is. Lily needs outside though, so I'm gonna go let her out, and I'll chat with you guys later. Hi guys, Editing Jessica here. I finished this vlog and realized I never wrapped up Next to You, which is my issue when I read like 3 books at a time. I'm talking about them all at the same time in my video, and I never remember if I actually like told you that I finished it, but I finished Next to You and obsessed. Like, I'm so excited to read more from Hannah Bonham Young. This book is as good as Caitlin makes it out to be, as the other 2 people made it out to be. This one I loved, and I think I would like this better than the first one, like I said, and I do definitely want to go back and read that first one. And Caitlin was like, just wait until her next book, so I'm very excited. Matt was adorable. There was an annoying 3rd act breakup, but the way they got back together completely made up for it, because they both acknowledged that they were in the wrong and both made up for it in separate ways. And like, Matt wrote some letters, and I really loved how the ending happened and just how honest and open they are with each other and how much they felt for each other and how scared the heroine was. And like I said, like, she's just such a relatable character when you're in your late 20s and just figuring out life. So I related to her so much. Matt is one of my new book boyfriends. I'm obsessed with him. He's so sweet, and this was such a good Friends to Lovers. I love their friends as well in the book. So 5 stars, favorite of the video so far. You have to read this. Happy Saturday. Sunday? It's Sunday. Oh my gosh. When I'm not working, I don't know what day it is, but I did end up wearing my Magnolia Park sweatshirt that I made for me and my friends for their birthday. I am 100% into like Daisy Hates Magnolia Park's vibes right now, and I just want to go and read the rest of the series. But I am listening to my audiobook for my live show tonight. I'm 5.5 hours into it already. I've listened to 5.5 hours of this audiobook, and I've read almost 300 pages of Binding 13. So I'm a reading machine this morning. That's all I've been doing, and I just did some laundry while listening to my audio. I ran this morning, and I'm halfway through Binding 13, and I love it so much. It's definitely, I've noticed a lot of books that are popular are very character driven. Like, this one's very character driven. There's there's not much of a plot. She's just starting a new school. He plays rugby. He is older. And I just really love the relationships in this book, like the relationships that Johnny has and the relationships that Shannon has. I love her relationship with her brother. Heavy trigger warnings for abuse though, because she lives in a very abusive household. She was extremely tormented at her old school, and to the point where they are now putting her in a private school. Like, that's where this starts, is that she is at the private school and Johnny goes there for rugby, and he hits her with a ball for the first day of school and like literally knocks her out. And so that was their meet cute. And he's so protective of her though. I really love that, how he immediately told all of his teammates, like, nobody messes with her, like, stay away from her. And like, I love how much he's into her, and he's just like, what is going on with me? I love that when a hero falls head over heels and it's like not normal, and he's like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? I don't know. So I really love how they're getting closer and spending some more time together. I'm nervous though, because like her home life is falling apart, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I want her to confide in Johnny and like let him help her, but I'm also really loving Joey and Aoife. I know their book is later, but I'm gonna go read some more before I head over to my parents' house. And I am just like, I'm loving this book, and it's probably gonna be a 5-star read. Hey guys, it is Monday. I'm here with the precious Miss Lily. She just got up here behind me when I sat down to film. But I read 500 pages of this book yesterday and then the last 100 pages today, and I'm giving it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I do think that I might not have enjoyed it if I didn't read it all in one go. That's happened to me before, where it's definitely a slower paced book. Very slow burn, very character driven. There's not too much plot in here other than him playing rugby and recovering from this injury that he had, but it was so good. Like, I love when the hero is just so hopelessly in love with the heroine and does not know what to do about it. And she obviously loves him, but he is the one who's falling for her the most and has no idea what to do. And I like that angst in here and that kind of tension between them. And so I am giving it 5 stars. I'm very nervous though, because like I knew what was happening at the end was like culminating at the end. I was getting very nervous, and I do think that I would really like this author with older characters as well. I'm really excited for Joey and Aoife's story, because like she's 16. She's 15 when this starts. She gets to 16. He's 17, and so I'm not super into YA, but this didn't feel like YA. It definitely felt new adult, and I still really enjoyed it. I loved all of the talk about sports and how important that was to him and how she didn't really care. Definitely know this has to do with abuse, because the heroine is from an abusive household, and it's just progressively gets worse and worse throughout the book. And I'm so interested too in her oldest brother who left home, in his situation, what happened with him. I don't know for sure who gets books in this series. I do know that Joey and Aoife get one, but I don't know if any of the other characters do, and I'm just scared because the hero and heroine really push and pull with each other in what they want to tell each other and how they are together. So I'm nervous that he's gonna push her away again, because she won't fight for him. She just runs away, and he pushed her away at the end and she ran away, even though he was ready to like be all in with her, and she was too, and he keeps on changing his mind because of all the pressure with rugby. And so I really liked it. Just know it's long. I would get through it as quickly as possible though, because if I had read this over like a week, I would have felt like it was dragging, because it's definitely a slow burn romance. And I mean, the romance itself is slow burn and the story is slow burn. There's just a lot of small moments here and there with the characters, but I really loved it. And I loved their friends, and I love their friends' dynamics. I would love Claire to get a romance with Gibbsy. I don't know how you say his name, but that would be a really fun friends to lovers romance too. So I love all the side characters in this book. 5 stars. I don't know if I would say it was like a all-time favorite. Like if I read this last year, I don't know if it would make it my top 10. I really enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it's an all-time favorite. But for this video, I had so much success. I think I would say Next to You is my favorite. I loved that book. That one was so good, but this one was a 5-star read, very solid. Haunting Adeline was fun, 4 stars. And Daisy Hates might be my favorite, actually. Daisy Hates and then Next to You, I think, are tied for my favorites for this video. And then I would say the next one would be Binding 13, and after that's Haunting Adeline, and in the end is Between Hell and Goodbye. But no flops. Like only Between Hello and Goodbye was my lowest, but that was 3.5 stars. Everything else was 4 or 5 stars. So I had so much fun reading these books. I'm happy I finally read them. Most of them were already on my TBR. I owned 4 out of the 5 already in paperback, so this pushed me to read them. I loved reading them, so definitely check out these books. Check out all the creators. They're all linked down below who I talked about and I read these from. Make sure you check out their channels, and thank you again so much to Every Plate for sponsoring this video. Check out my link and code down below to check them out and get some new meals for yourself. I'm still thinking about that meatloaf. Like, that meatloaf sandwich was one of the best things I've had in forever. Like, the tenderness of that meatloaf and the barbecue and like the crunchy bread, it was so good. It was so good. So that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.